All right, everyone, a very, very, very good afternoon to each and every one of you present for today's second live streaming session. All right, so there has been a lot of movement in the markets, there has been a lot of anticipation for the markets, correct? I mean, all of you are aware that we have the presidential elections that are taking place for who's going to be the next president of the United States of America, correct? So today being the 5th of November, there will be a lot of anticipation, and with anticipation comes fluctuations, correct? So we are going to have, a lot of discussions in terms of what we would be expecting, how are the markets going to respond, but that will be not covered in this one. It will be covered in the third live streaming session. But nonetheless, with today's main significant event taking place, right, all eyes are towards the US markets, right? Who is going to get selected, whether Mr. Donald Trump, whether Mrs. Kamala Harris. The competition is so stiff and so tough that it is very hard to speculate who would be the president, right? Both the competitors, both the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party, have been fighting neck to neck. So there would be a lot of uncertainty, and we would be definitely looking at what holds for the markets. All right, so I can see Sophia in the chat house. Hello, Sophia. How are you? I hope you are having a great afternoon. I hope you had a great morning. All right. So, let me give you a quick introduction about myself, the one and only Harsh. I have 8 years of experience trading the financial markets. I mainly trade the Forex products, correct? Products listed, different foreign exchange products such as euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, dollar Swiss, and the list goes on. I also trade commodities such as oil, gold, silver, as well as US based indices, correct? We have the S&P 500, we have the Dow Jones 30, we have the Nasdaq 100. Currently, currently we are also looking at the Indian share market. That's right. We do analyze the Indian indices as well as look for trading opportunities in individual Indian shares as well. I am more of a technical trader specializing in technical analysis, right? Technical analysis such as supply demand, price action, trend flow, order flow, Fibonacci retracement strategies, so on and so forth. I mean, the list of technicalities, when it comes to a technical analyst come trader, it's always, it's going to be vast, it's going to be huge because there are so many concepts, so many different methodologies by which we try to analyze the market. Here at Dolphin Markets, our main priority is to showcase our potential, correct? To showcase our potential in terms of generating profits. For all of those out there who are joining us after a long time, or who have been able to analyze the performance that we are able to provide you recently, correct? So you can clearly see that our entire motive, right, our entire focus is towards providing you beautiful people with opportunities to make money, correct? I'm like, there are a lot of people who come back to me and say like, Harsha, you do a fantastic job, an excellent job, but you might explain the best of information, but when it comes to making money, people want to focus on making money, and to them I say exactly the same thing. That is exactly what we are trying to do. We not just provide you with analysis, but we provide you with trading opportunities, correct? Hot stocks as well as trading education, correct? So when you're getting a trifactor benefit of everything, right from analysis to trading opportunities that can make you money to trading education, this is the best platform and the best broker to be a part of, to be a part of this beautiful community, and which focuses only on providing top notch quality content, correct? Sophia is writing the strategy implemented on the 30th also generated a 5% profit today. Do not worry, Sophia. We will be looking at that too. Like we said, we are providing you with trading opportunities, aka hot stocks, correct? That can make you money. It is all about taking action. Remember, we can provide you with the best of analysis. We can provide you with the best of trading opportunities. But if you are not taking action by, following what we are providing you, it does not make sense, correct? So the only way you can make money is by taking action, correct? So I hope people understand the main focus of these live streaming sessions have always been towards showcasing our credibility in terms of proving our skills in the financial markets, especially in the Indian share market. Remember, we as Dolphin Markets have just entered into the Indian share market in terms of acquiring clients, correct, from India. So in order to generate their trust, in order to showcase our credibility, we are trying to provide you with trading strategies on the Indian share market, right? And even within a span of less than 2 months, we have been able to attain 102% profitability. That is insane, correct? That is humongous. That is very significant. So please understand, if we can provide you with such profitability values in the Indian share market, we can provide you with much better profitabilities in the international markets, in the forex and gold markets. That is the markets where we specialize in, correct? So please understand the power of and the value that we are able to provide you, correct? As you can see, yes, we do have certain trades that are running as well. And as we will be looking, as in how the live streaming session is commencing, correct? We are going to be looking at how the markets are adapting. Remember, we might provide you with certain trading opportunities in the past. We do our due diligence, correct? We make sure we check all the market signals, we check the fundamentals, we try to connect as many dots as possible, right? But the markets are going to do what they are going to do, correct? So for those trades which are running, we make sure to improvise, to take further actions as to how the markets are behaving. And based on the current market conditions, we decide whether we need to add, whether we need to close, whether we need to mitigate risk. We will always keep you updated, right? So definitely, Sophia, you're telling me of IP rings. Yes, the one that has been taken on 38 has also generated a 5% target. All right, so people understand, it's not just about 102, it's going to be 107% profitability. I'm like, that is insane, correct? 100% plus profitability in less than 2 months. That is commendable. I'm sure there is no other broker out there, or there is no financial service or financial instrument out there which has been generating such significant returns. Remember, these are consistent returns, right? We are not looking at aiming at one or two trades to make very big profit. We are managing our risk, correct? As and how we go to the charts, you will understand that whichever hot stock we provide, we always provide you with a clear position size of 10 to 15. So for those people who think that are we gambling, are we going all in on certain trades? No. Remember, we are just looking at a modest profitability per trade of around 2 to 8%, right? So the average comes to 5, and that is how we have been able to capitalize on consistent trading opportunities and make money. All right. So let's go into the charts and see how the markets have shifted. What are the new improvisations that the markets have made, correct? So as you can see, we did talk about IP rings in the morning. The prices have gapped up, all right, by almost 3% today. So understand the phenomenon. We had provided to you a trading opportunity at around 200 for people who have taken trades. Remember, we have been doing significant with both the trades running. Our average price had come to around 215. So we had a previous trade at 230 and at 200. So the average comes to 215. Remember, if you're trying to buy at a price, and for whatever reason there have been corrections coming into the market, and we are able to buy again, right? We are able to buy at a discounted rate. So once we do buy again the stock, the average price reduces, correct? So currently for this, the average price has been at 215, and from 215 to where prices have shot up to, it's almost 3.5%. Nonetheless, for people who did enter at around 200 level, have been sitting at 11% profitability. That is insane, correct? Understand the power that we are able to, bring to you. Remember, all this information that we are providing to you is, done just purely based on, a zero sum return. In terms of what do I mean by that, I'm talking, we are not charging for any of our services right now that we are providing to you. Understand the power that is being given to your hands for free of cost, right? So please take this opportunity, understand how the markets are functioning, understand that yes, we are Dolphin Markets are trying our level best. Harsh is trying his level best to provide with top-notch content in terms of analysis, trading opportunities, and education as well. All right. I hope people are understanding. I hope no one is sleeping. Today we have been, directly we have kind of entered into the content, and otherwise I'm generally a person who likes to, build it slowly by asking, by building a relationship, by interacting and finding out more information. All right. So let's get back to trading view. All right. Now in terms of this particular trade, I hope people have taken the necessary step that had to be taken. For people who did, take a trade at 200 and have been able to close at around 220-ish area, have been almost sitting at a 10% profitability, right? Similarly, for the other trades that we had talked about, we talked about Annapurna, right? Now, Annapurna has done phenomenal, right? Yes, there had been a phase where prices were correcting, but nonetheless, currently, as you can see, there has been a huge shoot in price. Yes, in terms of the consumer non-durable sector, they have been appreciating as of today. Yes, the market did, the index did start on a bearish note today, but as in how we progress further, you will see that now the bearish sentiment has been converted to bullish sentiment. All right. So I hope people have taken, advantage of our trading opportunities by taking such trades and closing them. Remember, we have done phenomenal, right? Since prices had been entered at around 395 um, on the 9th of October, and the second trade was provided to at 375 on the 23rd of October, with the current price at where it has to be for people who had taken trades on both, who had taken positions on both the trade opportunities, have been sitting cumulatively at almost around 3%, right? We are doing phenomenal. I mean, people, please understand. There would come a lot of skepticism, as with a lot of people still doubting Dolphin Markets or still doubting on the potential that we are able to provide. Yes, when we did provide based on certain, trade confirmations based on fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis, the prices still had corrected, significantly. Yes, I'm not denying that, but as analysts, we want to make sure that we can provide you with, how you can improvise, right? The market conditions are always going to change. The markets are always dynamic. So it is very important to make sure that, yes, once the correction takes place, and since these stocks are listed on the National Stock Exchange or the Bombay Stock Exchange, for this particular stock that we are talking, it's Annapurna Swadesh Limited, listed on the NSE. I keep reiterating, and it's very important and crucial for me to, keep reminding people that yes, a company that is listed on the NSE or the BSE for that case, they have undergone strict due diligence from governing bodies like the SEBI, right? So the governing bodies such as SEBI make sure to check all the financials, all the credentials of that particular company, as well as its future prospects and its tendency to uphold its obligations in terms of proving itself, right, based on a future perspective. So the company has done phenomenal. Just today, the market has moved almost by around 9.5%, right? A 9.5% appreciation in just one day. there has been again an influx in terms of bullish sentiment coming in the consumer non-durable sector. Okay, so I hope people have been taking these trades and have been acting upon when to close. Remember, we do provide you with where to enter, but we also provide you with when to exit, right? Yes, can the market keep shooting up? Possibly, right? It is again a matter of probability. There is nothing certain in the financial markets. It all boils down to probability. But are we interested in just sitting on one trade and capitalizing on it? Because we are not sure whether the market is going to, come back, retrace, and then go up or continue down. Or what we are interested in particular is, are we able to generate consistent profits? All right. I hope people are able to understand. The sheet that you can see in front of you right now has been based on consistent profitability. We are not aiming for 20, 30, 50% per stock. We are trying to be as consistent and as moderate, as practical as possible, so that we are able to, justify that yes, even by closing at 5%, 5 to 6%, on an average for the majority of the trading opportunities, we can do phenomenally well. All right. I hope people understand what we bring to the table, correct? Let's get back to the chart. So these are the two trades which I hope people have capitalized on. The first one is IP rings. The second one is Annapurna, right? Now the third one that we were covering is Muthoot Microfinance, all right? I hope people have taken this particular opportunity. We did talk about it. Yes, the first trading opportunity was given around 16th of October. So that goes back to almost 2 weeks, correct? But nonetheless, there was significant correction. Remember, since Muthoot Microfinance is, a banking and finance sector related company, yes, with a lot of, FIIs pulling out funds from the economy, and the DIIs, the domestic investment institutions, not being able to match, right? There has been an outflow of funds, and that has affected the banking sector to quite an extent. All right. So please be aware that nonetheless, the company is solid. The numbers are solid. We will look at it also from a financial analysis perspective. But currently, what our main focus is on, for people who had entered around 200 area, where we had provided you with this trading opportunity, prices right now have almost touched 7% profitability. The prices have moved by 7%, right, in our favor. Now, as we keep, reiterating, please make sure to close trades or, start booking profits, because we want to make money consistently. We will keep analyzing the markets. We will keep identifying for better opportunities. But our main concern is, are we able to, make consistent profits? And we have been clearly successful, right? So I hope everyone is understanding the value that we are bringing to the table, correct? We did look at RBL Bank also. Yes, RBL Bank, based on, certain areas that we were expecting prices to hold. Yes, the prices did start to turn bullish, but currently they have been going sideways, correct? As well as Hind Oil. For a lot of you people who have been taking trades on Hind Oil, we did focus on this, where we had, initially we had given an entry at around 218 to 220 level area. The prices have corrected, but since prices were coming into an area where the big banks and institutions were having a higher probability of re-entering, of establishing long positions in this particular stock, the prices have been holding, correct? Yes, there have been corrections coming into the market, but currently the prices have been in an upward movement, and yes, we are making money, right? It's not much. The average price is just at around 1.5, but for people who did follow Harsh and his trading strategies, have been, who were provided to enter at around 192 AR, have been sitting at almost 8.9. So again, we are, providing you with a modest and practical profitability value of 5. But the market sometimes give you more, right? Maybe sometimes 8%, sometimes 10%, sometimes 15%, right? We are, providing you with a world class, top notch, value in terms of analysis, in terms of trading education, trading opportunities, aka hot stocks, as well as education. So please always make sure to keep attending our live streaming sessions. We have our live streaming sessions all the way from Monday till Friday, right? 5 days a week. I personally make sure to provide you three live streaming sessions. The first live streaming session that takes place in the morning, the second live streaming session that we are currently having right now, that is taking place, an hour prior to the market closure. Remember, the Indian market closes by 3:15, 3:30 p.m. In the afternoon. So during that time, how has the market, its conclusion phase, how are the markets reacting? Are there major advances? Are there major impacts that we have that we can analyze? And most importantly, are we able to solve your queries? Remember, as and how people are joining this live streaming session, yes, Harsh is going to do a lot of talking. There is no doubt in that. But at the same time, it's not just about me talking, it's about, what questions you have in mind. Is there any query that you have in mind? Is there any particular stock that you have taken and you want my opinion on that? You can always comment down in the chat box, and I would be glad to assist you, And for any other queries pertaining to what are the timings of the live streaming sessions, when you provide hot stocks, do we get a copy of, the hot stock? Everything would be provided to you. My team of assistants will make sure to provide you with all the necessary information. All right. I hope people are able to understand. I mean, this is insane, right? Imagine the week has started today being Tuesday, the second day of the new month of November. We have been doing, fantastically well, correct? Again, very important to reiterate, 107, almost touching 107, right? Yes, Sophia has mentioned that the trade that was implemented on 30th, correct? We had Muthoot Finance as well as we have IP Rings. Now, both these ones, Muthoot Finance as well as IP Rings, have done phenomenal. For people who have taken the trades, the latest trades that were provided to you around 30th of October have been making a lot of money. Please take advantage. Please follow us, and please understand, if we can provide value in the market that we are just entering to with such phenomenal returns, we can provide you with much more value when it comes to the international markets, correct? The forex and the gold markets. Now quickly, let's look at what other news events have taken place. Let's go to the web page. I would personally, I would personally insist that, such a website such as www.tickertape.in and screener.in, these are valuable, all right, in terms of giving you a clear financial analysis overview as to what are the numbers showcasing how the market's performing. Okay, let us take an example, correct? We were looking at sorry, let's look at Muthoot Finance. All right, so let me go back to the web page and let me put Muthoot Finance. So let's start with stock screener first. All right, so I'm going to type Muthoot Finance. You can either type the entire name of the company or you can use the ticker symbol. All right, but nonetheless, microfinance. One second, let me just check. Yeah, sorry, because Muthoot has a lot of sister companies. We are talking about Muthoot Microfinance, all right? So basically, it's a subsidiary, right, of Muthoot Papachan Group. I'm pretty sure about everyone being aware of this particular company, right? It's got into the banking sector. It was also into gold and a lot of things, correct? So a little more information about it, but for that, yes, you would have to log in. Nonetheless, let's see some of the pros and cons. The company is expected to give a good quarter. Okay, that's a decent thing. Cons are, though the company is reporting profit, it is not paying out dividend. Now, the ability of a company to provide dividends is subjective. Just because a company is doing profitably well, it is the choice of the board members and the management to decide whether they want, to give out dividends, or they want to, utilize the value, those, values that would accumulate to dividends, and use it for, maybe operational purposes, or for, expansion purposes. The company has a low interest coverage ratio. Okay, The company has a low return on equity of around 13.9. So 13.9 PA over the last 3 years. Okay, quite significant. In terms of its competitors, Muthoot Finance has a P ratio of around 7.71, while compared to the other competitors, it is quite less, right? No dividends provided. Now, in terms of quarterly profit, it's been at around 18, while comparing it to its competitors, it's still lagging behind Bajaj Holdings and Cholaman, correct? And the ROC values are at 14 when compared to the other, right? What is ROC? Return on capital employed, right? How much is basically the financial ratio that measures a company's profitability and efficiency with which its capital is employed. So that is another important factor to look at. Now, based on the value of Muthoot Finance or the ROC value of Muthoot Finance, it is coming into the average. Yes, the only anomaly is HDFC, and HDFC is a very big banking company in the banking industry. But nonetheless, let us look at some results in terms of the quarterly results, correct? Now, the main purpose is what we would have to emphasize on is the company's profits appreciating over time. Is the company's revenue, sorry, is the earnings that the company is generating, is it appreciating over time, correct? In the last couple of years, we're going to look at 2023, quarters, so December, March, and June, right? So last year and the current 2 quarters of this year, in terms of revenue, the prices have been appreciating, with the current quarter slightly less compared to its previous quarter, right? All right, and in terms of its net profit, right? Yes, it had appreciated in 2024 March, but the last quarter had been at 113, so a slight deficit, correct? Now, in terms of profit and loss, right? Let's look at how the revenues are being showcased. Now, based on the last year compared to this year, right? 2024, yes, the revenue has shot up with a trailing 12 month at around 2429. Financing profit, profit before tax, net profit again from 450 in the last year, in the year 22, 164 in the year 2023 has shot up to 450, right? There is potential in the company, right? Has it been able to generate profits? Yes. And EPS, right? Earnings per share in terms of rupee value, it has been growing, correct? With 14 rupees per EPS in 2023 to 26 rupees EPS in 2024, with a trailing at 30.35. So these values are showing that yes, the company's fundamentals have been in sync, with what people are expecting the company to perform, correct? In terms of balance sheet and cash flows, yeah, these are the returns and values. We are trying to see what else can we find in terms of any important announcements and all. It's very important, because especially in the stock market, unlike the international market, stock market is mainly pertaining to individual companies, how they perform, how are they expected to perform in the future. You have to understand that a company has a management in place that runs the company's operations, correct? So there can be disputes in the company, there can be certain news events, whether a particular prominent position level person is resigning or is planning. So these do have indirect significance in that particular stock, right? The stock might have the best cash flows, might have great revenues, might have appreciating assets. But for example, if a prominent figure in the company has decided to resign, or has gone into a dispute with some other member, the markets can take a huge toll inversely, correct? So these are certain things that we need to keep in mind. Similarly, if you're going to be using ticker tape is also very interesting. Let us quickly have a look at this as well, right? Remember, our entire focus has always been to start with what the watch list is showcasing, right? We have been pretty clear in terms of how the markets are performing, which trades are running in our favor, and we are trying our best to make sure to keep you updated as to when to close the trade. But please be aware that as and how we are providing you with more information, there are going to be times where a lot of questions would be, being would be sent to me. I would be trying my best to cover as many questions as possible, right? So that is the reason when certain wordings or sentences that I'm repeating on a daily basis, such as setting your target at 5% rather than waiting for price to come to your 5% area and then deciding should we let it run, should we close. Do not do that. If we are telling you to close it, it is for your betterment, right? We want to see consistency. I hope people can see this. We are not looking for 20, 30, 40% profitability on one trade. We are trying to keep it consistent, practical and consistent. It is very important to understand. So the entire purpose is when I tell, or when my team tells you that yes, price has arrived to the 5% target, you can start to close, because at the end you want to make money, correct? And you want to make money consistently, correct? So please be aware that yes, my team will also be sure to provide you with reminders, to provide you with notifications. But at the end, I think it is of best interest of you, you beautiful people, to take the decision on your own. That yes, Harsh told to put the target at 5%. He has given us the value at where to exit at 5%. Let me put my target and I will make money. All right. Rather than coming back to me and telling, but Harsh, you did not tell us to close. Remember, we have three live streaming sessions, right? Only two live streaming sessions take place when the market is running, and the third live streaming session takes place when the market is closed. So during those live streaming sessions, if the market is close to target, I will definitely notify you. But for instance, if we are not having the live streaming session, or certain market fluctuations take place outside the live streaming sessions, it is better for the trader, that is you, the client, our customer, to take that initiative to put the targets, predefined targets at 5%, and not care about how much the markets have moved, because at the end, are you making money? That is the most important criteria, right? So it's very important to keep this piece of information. Let us go back and type Muthoot Finance. So we looked at it on screener.com. Screener.com has good amount of information by which even you beautiful people can learn about how are the different values, how are the rates, how the values appreciating or depreciating, and are we able to have a better understanding of how the particular stock is performing. Similarly, let us look at it from the same company, right? Muthoot Microfinance, but rather than looking at it on Screener, we are going to look at it on Ticker Tape, right? Another very prominent website for analyzing and providing financial analysis, correct? In terms of performance, it has not fared well. Growth is good, profitability is okay, average. Entry point, the stock is underpriced and it is not in the overbought. Remember, we as traders would love to buy when prices are at discount, right? When prices are cheaper compared to when they're expensive, right? I mean, for all those beautiful ladies out there, if you're buying a bag, or if you're buying a pair of shoes, right, from Zara, from Shein, from Louis Vuitton, from Versace, you would want to buy, would you want to buy a product that is expensive, that is like 1 lakh rupees, or would you want that same product when it is maybe 50,000 or maybe 20,000, right? Of course, you would always prefer the second option, and that is exactly what we are trying to do. As and how prices are falling, they are becoming cheaper, and that is the best time to buy, correct? And no red flags in terms of its investment, sorry, sector and mode of operation. It is into microfinancing with a small cap company. Some key metrics, right? Let's look at the data in terms of the financials. In terms of income, has the revenue been rising? Yes, the revenue has been rising compared to the year 2022 all the way till 2024, with a 12-month trailing 12-month value at 2446. The values have been significantly appreciating, right? Earnings before income tax, amortization, and depreciation. In terms of the earnings, yes, the values have been rising as well, correct? Net income has been rising from 163 in the year 2023 to 449. So the fundamentals of the company have been, at par or better, I would say. EPS, earnings per share, right? Back in the year, it was at 14.19. Currently, it's at 31, right? For the financial year 2024, it has been at 31, with the last trailing 12 months at 27. Nonetheless, still significant, correct? Let's go and check the balance sheet. Okay, current assets, have the current assets increased or decreased? You can clearly see from the year 2022 all the way till 2024, the values have increased, right? From 1067 to 1261 to 1893. In terms of its current liabilities, has the liabilities appreciated or depreciated, correct? So in terms of liabilities, from 216, yes, it did shoot up to 328 for the year 2023, but as of now, again, the liabilities has reduced. That is a very good sign. When liabilities decrease and assets increase, that showcases that yes, the company is in a stronger position, to maintain its transactions, to maintain its operations, and to grow its revenue. All right. And in terms of cash flow, how much cash does this particular company have? Remember, it is into the microfinancing companies, so certain sectors will have certain changes in variables, right? Now, in terms of net cash, yes, 186 in 2022 to 53. So it was shortfall in 2023, but rose back to 198 in 2024. And free cash flow, they have been in a deficit. Now please understand, this is the banking sector. This is not a sector that produces products, right? It is based on financial transactions, right? It's into the financial sector, so it will have a lot of transactional issues. So in terms of free cash flow being in negative, it's not a concern, or it's not nothing to worry about, because it's in the banking sector. Had the numbers been similar on a company which is in the automobile or the consumer, or in the manufacturing, then those numbers would not be good, right? Those numbers would raise a red flag, because we need cash flows in the company, especially those companies which are into production of goods and services, which are producing products. For them, you need to have cash flow for daily transactions related to labor charge, for operations, and for servicing, right? I hope people are able to understand. Let's get uh, let's get back to trading view. So sorry, the screen was not changed, but we were on on screener as well as ticker tape, using the same company as a reference, Muthoot Microfinance. We did our part in terms of analyzing how well the values are being showcased. So we did look at the income, we did look at the balance sheet, and we did look at the cash flow, and the numbers were quite fruitful, right? They have been appreciating, showcasing that yes, the company has strong fundamentals to carry on. Once we understood how the overall financials of the company have been doing, then we come back and then we analyze it on trading view. All right, I hope people are able to understand. Now, any other important information in this particular? Yes, in terms of dividend also, this particular company has not given dividends. But at the end, are we investors? No, we are traders. We are here to make consistent profits, right? So irrespective of such minuscule, anomalies, it's completely fine, because at the end, are we looking at the charts? Are we able to provide you with trading opportunities that are able to make you money? Yes, if that is correct, then you are doing phenomenal, right? When you look at how the Nifty has been performing, understand, since Harsh, that's me, who has more of a technical, analysis background. We do look at certain areas of interest where there is potential of prices holding, correct? And as you can see, currently, just based on the Nifty, yes, the prices have been holding. The markets were quite bearish, all right, since the onset of October, with a correction of almost 9%. But as you can see today, there has been a positive correction of 1.6%. That is quite phenomenal, right? I mean, people are again either trying to get back into the markets because of the uncertainty of what the US elections are holding, we never know, right? But what we see on the chart, we believe, because as technical analysts say, price is king. Price discounts for everything, correct? So similarly, as we saw on the Nifty, the Sensex is also following similar footsteps where the area of interest, we call these areas as support, right? Let me just quickly type it. Some people think that, yeah, Harsh, this is all basic, but people, they tend to forget that when it comes to technicalities and making things complex, I can be very good at it, but it will not be beneficial to you, right? I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible with keeping the concepts as well as the explanation behind those concepts to make it as simple as possible so that everyone can understand and get a good amount of learning from it, right? So yes, again coming back to the support area, prices have been holding. Let's look at the stock heat map, right? In terms of overall how is the Nifty performing, and then we are going to look at how is the BSE performing, the Sensex performing. All right. So in terms of Nifty, as you can see, majority, quite a lot of companies, especially the ones who are performing well currently. Again, the finance and the consumer durables, non-energy minerals, utilities, distribution services, they have been doing quite significantly well, right? So we did look at certain manufacturing companies, sector. In terms of companies within that sector, which we were talking about IP rings and Annapurna. Let us look at Annapurna because Annapurna comes under the consumer non-durables, correct? So the consumer non-durables have also been doing quite substantially moderate, being quite decent in terms of its performance. But nonetheless, we can cover all the points, we can try to connect as many dots as possible. But the main point, the main crux is, are you able to generate profits, right? And I'm pretty sure as of today, with such trades being, let out to you, remember, please, when we do provide you with a trading opportunity, will it happen exactly on the same day? Not necessarily. Can it happen? Yes. Will it happen always? No. So you need to give it time. As in how the markets are moving, the markets being dynamic, we try to adapt and improvise to what the market conditions are showing. And Annapurna has been a very clear example, right? If you're going to look at it from a technical perspective, let me give you a quick technical analysis on terms of why Annapurna has been behaving the way it is currently, right? With the current movement clearly being bullish, the prices that started to correct, right, by creating a short-term reversal. But people, you need to understand when prices come into areas of interest where the entire overall movement of prices have been up, correct? So when prices on based from a generalized perspective, if a particular stock has been bullish and prices are coming at discounted rates, right? The same cost of Annapurna in the month of August, right, was around 486, right? Then fell down to around on 25th of October to 346. There has been a quite substantial difference, right? They're getting prices at almost 30% discount. It is the same thing. If you're getting a particular product at 30% discount, why wouldn't you, take the opportunity to buy it? Because you're getting the same product or the same service at a much cheaper rate, correct? And nonetheless, they have price that come into an area of significance, right? Which we again call as demand zones, or to keep it simple, let us just call them as supports, right? Now people will be like, what is support? What is resistance? What is supply? What is demand? What is demand supply flip zones? I mean, do not worry. We would be covering a lot of the technicality aspects in the third live streaming session, right? Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow, because today is the 5th of November, and today being the US election results day, we would be anticipating and trying to provide you with more information as to what is the current um sentiment in terms of who has a higher probability of winning, right? I hope people are able to understand. I hope people understand that we try to provide you analysis from all points of perspective, right? From a fundamental analysis point of view, from a technical analysis point of view, and even from a sentimental analysis, right? what is the sentiment, how is the index performing, how are the sectors performing, right? Currently, going back to the sectors, the finance sector has again started to turn up, has started to showcase good amounts of positive reinforcement, right? Let's look at what Sensex is showing us. So similar to Nifty on the BSE, right? On the Sensex, we can see again the finance, the consumer durables, and non-energy minerals, right? In the morning, we had talked about how the metal index, right, the metal sector has been doing phenomenally well. JSW company, right, has shown significant, positive results, right? Almost with a 5% increment in price. So certain sectors also, like the one showcased to you. Remember, if for having more information in terms of which company is in which sector, all you have to do is click on the sector, and then you will understand. Okay, these are the sectors. Um, this is the sector in which which companies have been performing quite well. There have been sectors which are not performing well. For example, Infosys, which comes into the IT sector, or telecommunications, such as Bharati Airtel, right? But nonetheless, the more research you do, the more analysis we would be doing our part. But even as a loyal, customer, you can do your due diligence. If you have trades which you have taken in the past, you can utilize the amount of information that we are providing you, and you can also do your own bit of analysis. But nonetheless, if you still have doubts, if you still want clarifications, or if you want an opinion as to what would I expect a particular stock to to perform, you can always get back to me by writing down in the comment box. All right, we want to make sure that we are providing you with as much value as possible, right? Not just harsh talking, but overall, I want the community to grow, right? Like how Sophia has been doing so exceptionally well in terms of being able to generate good amount of profits, right? Are we saying that everyone should be sitting at 100 and at 102% profitability? No. But if you start following and being consistent, right? Yes, you would be at least much more than any other, financial instrument that is giving you an average return of between 24 or maybe even 40. There are some who are giving 40, and they consider that to be exceptionally good. We are almost sitting at 102% profitability in less than 2 months. So please understand the value that we are able to provide to you, right? Other companies that we had looked at have been having a similar context. And yeah, let me get back to the web page. And in terms of analyzing what new advancements have been made in the Indian share market, in terms of news events, it's very important, right, to be aware of what the markets are trying to show. Like I had mentioned, metal, the bank stocks are shining, correct? The Nifty is again back to above 24,000 levels. The market, the Sensex also jumps by over 700 points. So again, there has been a strong influx of optimism. Could it be due to the US elections, which where people are like, because of uncertainty of what the markets are going to hold, maybe the banks and institutions have again started to flood the markets. We never know, right? But nonetheless, it is what it is. In terms of, we had earnings. I had read across a particular article where we had earnings of, I guess, Raymond and of one more company. Let me just check it and see. But nonetheless, as you can see, even yet, though the markets have been starting to show some kind of bullish behavior, still there is going to be a lot of uncertainty, for the reason that everyone is glued to their screens for what is going to take place. All eyes of the world are on the United States of America, right? People are anticipating who is going to win the presidential cycle this year. Is it going to be Mr. Donald Trump, or is it going to be Kamala Harris? There is stiff competition between the two of them, and it will get pretty interesting to analyze and see who wins and how the market reacts to the particular candidate winning. So it will be quite interesting, right? Very, very, very interesting. but still being happy that in terms of bullish sentiment, being kicked into the markets, that is a sign of relief for a lot of, investors who have been investing in the with the hope of, making returns, significant returns. But overall, in terms of the economy, right? Yes, there had been a strong bearish sentiment, but today, as of now, there has been quite a significant bullish sentiment of almost around 1.15%. There is another, graph that was important, which I had to showcase you, and that is this, where again, in terms of the intensity, when it comes to the FIIs, pulling out funds from the economy, as you can currently see. One second. Yeah, as you can currently see, in terms of the FII, they have again yesterday their intensity of pulling out funds has increased again. But again, we had talked about how after such a long time we had the DII, the domestic institution investors, pulling out funds on the 1st of November. But again, now they have again to flush in the economy with, with a positive rate of influx. So with a deficit of almost around 4,329 crores, and with with an influx of around 2936, there has been again, a kind of stability, if not, to start offsetting the bearish pressure that the index has been facing. So this has been some crucial information which I feel should have, is of vital importance. All right. I hope people are able to understand. Remember, the main motive of us providing you with this analysis, with how improvisations have been taking place in the stock market, in the trading opportunity that we are providing to you, is just to showcase the power of our trading analysis that we offer to you, and that too at zero cost. So please, very important, and very important for me to keep repeating it again and again, that it is only when you take action is when you can make money, correct? So please utilize this, utilize what we are offering to you. If there was any other company who was doing so phenomenally well, there would be, no way the company would be providing its services for zero cost. All right. Here at Dolphin Markets, we are trying to, provide you with such top notch, top grade value information and trading, trading opportunities at zero cost. You are getting, a killer offer. You're getting the best offer possible. So please, I hope you take into consideration, take trades. Sophia is taking trades. Sophia is being consistent. She is being profitable. Be like Sophia. All right. Hope everyone has understood what has been taught, has been discussed about when it comes to the overall summary as to what we have entirely covered. Our major focus has been on IP rings as well as Annapurna, right? For people who have taken trades, please make sure that you start closing your positions. Remember, we are not here to be right. We are here to make money, right? You can be right, but if you haven't taken trade, your right, your right analysis has no value. Are you putting in funds into the market? Are you taking the opportunities that we are providing to you? If yes, then you are making money. All right. So by making money, make sure you have to close. You can't take a trade and make money. You have to take a trade and square off the trade to generate profits, right? So for people who have taken IP rings, I mean, a huge congratulations. You have done phenomenally well, correct? With the most recent entry at 200, to where prices have gone to, it's almost 11% appreciation, 11% profitable in terms of the rate at which prices have moved. The price has moved by 11%. So you can understand, the potential that we are offering. Second, we were talking about Annapurna. For people who have, understood and who have understood the value that we are able to provide, would have taken Annapurna. And for people who did take Annapurna, right now the prices have moved to almost 15%, right? Both the entries have been covered up. Prices had gone above average price. People should be making money. I hope people, take more initiative into clicking the button, taking more trades. Remember, we are not just, blindly providing you with analysis. We are doing our due diligence. We are doing our thorough analysis. We are trying to analyze the markets from all perspectives, be it financials, be it technicals, be it based on the sentiment of what the market is. We take into consideration all factors, and then we provide to you with the trading opportunity, also hot stock, also known as hot stock. We did look at the other oil sectors. Remember, we talked about Hindustan exploration oil for people who have taken trades at the areas that we have been mentioning. You have been already been sitting at almost around 9%. Though we mention again and again that yes, closure trades at 5%. Remember, at the end, we want you to make practical results consistently, right? But nonetheless, the prices from the area of interest at which we had provided to you, the prices have appreciated by almost 9%, right? Then we did talk about how there has been a wave of optimism in the markets, right? Both the Nifty as well as the Sensex have started to correct, with Nifty correcting by almost 1.3% and Sensex correcting by almost 1.3% as well. So both the indices are correcting. Looking at it from a technical perspective, the prices have come into an area of demand, or in simpler terms, we just call them as support. But nonetheless, is price holding? Is there an optimism? Could this optimism be due to the uncertainty of what the US elections are holding? Are you able to connect the dots? With a lot of FIIs across the globe, if a certain economy is going to face a significant event, generally the consensus is for that FII to park out the funds and invest it in economies that are doing quite well. So again, we can have a sigh of relief, correct, in terms of yes, the bearish sentiment has again has taken a stall, correct. The bearish movement has stalled, and there is some kind of optimism taking place. And maybe because of this optimism, and based on the certain sectors that we have been looking, especially the finance, the consumer durables, the consumer non-durables, as well as the auto sector, now they have been starting to perform. And certain companies in those sectors, like the ones we had discussed, whether it was IP Rings, whether it was Annapurna, whether it is Hind Oil, whether it is even Muthoot, right? We talked even about Muthoot, microfinance. We try to connect the dots in terms of how the fundamentals have been acting, how the technicals have been portraying on the chart, and combining the two to provide you with more detailed analysis, right? And not just detailed analysis, but making money as well, correct? So I hope people are able to understand and get a good gist as to how the markets have been performing. We have been doing quite extraordinarily well, right? We have proved our capabilities time and time again, all the way from from the mid of September to currently being 5th of November. Within a span of less than 2 months, we have showcased, very, very significant returns. So please take advantage of this. When providing you with these certain trading opportunities at zero cost, you are literally losing nothing, correct? So please, I hope everyone has had a good understanding. I hope people have taken, these trade opportunities, these trading ideas, these hot stocks that we have been providing to you, and I hope people are making money as well. Please make sure to come back for the third live streaming session. We are going to talk more about how the US elections will be, affecting the market. What is the updates in terms of who is winning the polls, whether Mr. Donald Trump or whether Mrs. Kamala Harris. So please make sure to stay tuned, all right? Come back again for the third live streaming session. And until then, have a great afternoon. I will catch you back in the evening for the third live streaming session, all right? Namaste and see ya later. Take care and bye-bye.